My brothers voted me out of our family business, so I turned off the software they depended on. My brothers texted me, "We voted you out of the family business. Pack your desk by Friday." I was sitting at my desk when it came in, and for a second I laughed because it sounded dumb. I'm 28, and for the last 5 years I've been the person building the part that makes the business work. Back in 2019, my brothers Garrett, 35, and Toby, 32, started a logistics consulting firm. At first it was just a name, some business cards, and big promises. 6 months later they showed up at my place with pizza and said, "We just need you to handle the website." What they really needed was a full system, because clients kept asking for tools they didn't have. So I built it. A client portal so people could log in and see shipments. Inventory tracking so the warehouse could see what was on hand. Route planning so drivers knew where to go. Payment processing so invoices didn't get lost. It took me 8 months of nights and weekends, and they paid me in food and promises. One thing I did do was keep the software under my personal LLC. The company used it under a written license agreement that said access depended on my involvement. They signed it without reading because we're family. Fast forward and the business grew to about $2.8 million a year. They loved acting like they were genius founders. In reality, my systems ran everything, and I was the one getting the 2 a.m. server alerts. I was also still getting a small cut compared to them because they called me the tech guy, like I was an employee. Then last week they decided to play pretend CEO even harder in meetings too. Garrett announced his wife Mallory was now operations director. It was a made-up role where she changed email fonts and reorganized folders that already worked. Toby hired his girlfriend Kelsey as social media manager for our B2B logistics company. Like shipping managers care about Instagram stories. They bragged about building a real team while I was patching bugs and writing new features for clients who actually paid the bills. I asked why we were adding 2 salaries when our systems were overloaded and I hadn't had a real weekend in months. Garrett smirked and said, "You worry too much. We need leadership, not just code." That should have warned me, but I still didn't think they'd be reckless enough to blow up the only thing holding us together. Then yesterday at 4 p.m., the group text hit. "Partner meeting. We voted. You're out. The business needs to evolve beyond tech stuff. No meeting invite, no call. Just a vote and a command to clean out my desk." I stared at my phone, felt my face get hot, then weirdly calm. I even checked my calendar twice thinking I missed something, but there was nothing. 5 minutes later, Mallory emailed the whole company, announcing she'd be overseeing all systems, like she knew what a server was, and people should report to her. I walked to the filing cabinet and pulled out the license paperwork. I read the line they'd ignored for years. Access was only valid while I was an active partner. My hands were shaking, but the words were clear. I typed one word. "Okay." Garrett replied with a thumbs up like he just fired a random intern. I didn't argue. I didn't beg. I just opened my laptop. I logged into our cloud console and went straight to the license keys. I revoked every single one tied to their company. Client portal, routing, inventory, payments, all of it. I didn't delete their data. I didn't wipe servers. I didn't touch client files. I simply turned off access to code they never owned. Within minutes, their screens would show, "License expired. Please contact your software administrator." At 4:17, Garrett called. I let it ring. At 4:19, he called again, then again. By 4:30, I had 12 missed calls and texts, switching between, "Call me now," and "What did you do?" That evening, an account manager emailed me from a personal Gmail, panicking. Our biggest client had a $400,000 shipment scheduled for the next morning, and the routing page was blank. Drivers had no assignments. The warehouse couldn't see what was supposed to load. The payment screen wouldn't process the final invoice, so nobody could even confirm the order. At 6 a.m., my doorbell camera pinged. Garrett was outside, pounding on my door like the building was on fire. I watched on the app as he paced and yelled that I was ruining the family. He kept shouting, "Open up! This is childish!" My neighbor finally yelled through his own door, "Leave or I'm calling the police!" And Garrett stormed off. An hour later, Toby tried the scary route. He texted, "Our attorney says what you did is illegal sabotage and theft. You have 24 hours to restore access or we're suing." I forwarded that message to a lawyer friend and asked if I was about to get in trouble. He called me back, laughing, and said, "They terminated you. The license ends when you're out. That's literally the contract they signed." Now my brothers are blaming me for pulling the license. Was I wrong?